Hey there, friends and enemies, Jopa here again, and today I want to talk about the story coming with Lightfall in Destiny 2, because I'm very excited to head on the road to the final shape, which is the culmination of the entire Light versus Dark saga we've seen in Destiny, all the way dating back from the original Destiny 1 campaign, the visit to the Black Garden, all that kind of good stuff. I think there's a lot that's going to happen, and by the end of the final shape, Destiny is going to be changed forever, and it all starts with Lightfall. Now, there's a lot going on that we already know about. We know Callus is going to be the disciple of the Witness, who is going to be our main focus, our main enemy heading into Lightfall. Although this could be a little bit of a red herring. We've seen it previously where Callus might be the end of the campaign final boss, but then we've also got a raid coming where maybe we see another disciple. That would be awesome. I feel like that's the best way to do things, and in my opinion, we could see something like the returned, resurrected Nezarec, for example. We could see Xivu Wrath potentially as the final boss of the raid, and it does feel like there's a lot of ways they can go. We also know Cloud Striders are coming in the game, a brand new race we haven't seen before that I find very, very interesting, because we haven't got a new race in Destiny in a long time. It doesn't look like we're going to be fighting them, but I do believe we're going to be rivals with them, especially initially, because we're going to see a lot of problems when we first land there. Callus is already there doing his thing, invading their land, and they're not going to be happy about it, so we're going to see some tension for sure. Now, what that means, I don't think we clash with them necessarily, but we might see their power in some aspects during the Lightfall campaign. With Callus, we know his Shadow Legion is going to be there, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see our allies in the Cabal and Saladin and Keitel come in and do battle with them, and we see a Cabal versus Cabal clash during the campaign as well. I think that's a very likely scenario. They are really going to need to involve Keitel if we are facing her father. It just makes absolute sense, and I think she's going to be a prime helper for that. We may even include our allies with the Elixir as well, but they might take a backseat. The other thing I think we're really going to see is a character who is going to die that we are very familiar with, a main character that we know and love. Now, the options are there to be someone like Zavala, someone like Saladin. I think both of those are potential options. We've seen teases about it with Osiris, with Saint 14, but for me personally, I think it could be Ikora Ray. Now, I say this as somebody who feels like it would be a natural progression for it to be Zavala and have Saint 14 come in and be the Vanguard, but I just think Ikora Ray is going to sacrifice herself and really be the one who takes the bullet for us and defends us in order to help us defeat Callus and set us on the road to the final shape, because I really think there's got to be immense stakes going into Lightfall and heading to the final shape, and that has to be the loss of a major character. We saw one of the best expansions in Forsaken, spurred on by the revenge we needed by Cade dying, and I think that was a big turning point. So it might be multiple characters. I wouldn't be shocked by that as well, and I think we're gonna, by the end of the final shape, really be set on the path to a new Vanguard or a new leadership group, even if it's not necessarily the Vanguard. We've got Crow rising through the ranks. We've got Saint 14 who has returned. I think they're going to take over leadership and really be the ones that we look forward to going forward, whereas Zavala and Ikora are going to kind of reach the end of the journey. We also have like the Drifter, who I think will kind of weasel his way out of it. We've got Eris Morn, who could definitely be involved, and I think will be by that time the final shape rolls around, but I don't think she'll be as heavily involved with Lightfall personally. So we've got Callus, we've got the Cloud Striders. We're going to this brand new location. We're going to face Tormentors, a brand new enemy type as well, which is going to be really awesome. And overall, I just think there's going to be a lot of chaos, and it's going to be so much potential for leading on the road to the final shape. Now, some of the questions I have is what's going to happen during Lightfall specifically, and then what's going to happen, because we do have another year of seasons where they're going to build on that. However, I do think the seasons leading up to the final shape have to be a bit more serious than we saw this year, because there's going to be a lot of tension between a potential character dying, us finding a new location, between trying to make allies for this final war that is coming. There's just going to be a lot of back and forth there that we know we're going to have to amass our armies essentially. And hopefully we see other Guardians returning. We see our allies, the Elixni, the Cabal, all of them get involved. We see Marisol be involved in the Dreaming City folk, the Awoken. So I think there's going to be a lot of that. And if you remember from the battle with the Dreadnought in Destiny 1, I feel like it's going to be on that scale. And Lightfall is really the herald to all of that. So I'm very excited. Like I said, I think there's a lot of potential. We got Strand coming, which is the new subclass, and I think one thing I would love to see, and this is just pure wild speculation, is areas where the light is tempered, right? Where your abilities aren't as useful for your light abilities, whether it's your arc, solar, and void, and then really lean into Strand being buffed in those certain locations. That way Strand can be really strong in those locations and make you want to use it a lot there. However, it's not going to be something that's overpowered everywhere, like we've seen with the 3.0 subclasses, like we've seen with Stasis when it first came into the game. They were very strong, and so because of that, I think you kind of want to not really go too heavy in that direction, from my personal opinion. So anyway, I think there's a lot that's going to happen. I'm very excited about Lightfall. I know there's been some down turning in the community as far as complaints and as far as happiness with the game. I really am looking forward to Lightfall. I think it's going to be a major turning point in the game. I think with the legendary campaign is going to be rather difficult, which is a good thing. I think that there's going to be a lot going on, and what Destiny delivers right is their cutscenes are fantastic. Their story is really, really good when it's kind of really focused, and I think this is going to be a case of that. And we're going to see a lot of things moving forward towards the final shape, which is going to be the big blow off. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on your predictions of the story in Lightfall in the comments down below. My name is JoPa. I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Obviously, I'm going to have loads of content not only leading up to Lightfall, but obviously through that expansion as well. Hope you have a good one, and I'll catch you all later.